Damn, there we go. What's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy popping through, man. Just seeing who was up. Took some medications going into the time of next meds. It keeps me up anyway. Now I'm at the point of the healing process, and thank God, where the meds ain't even about getting rid of the pain. It's just about managing it. But we're getting through. So I said, in the meantime, in between time, let's talk about some things. Let's rap. Let's holler. See who was up out there. Deacon, what's going on? Shouts out, peace. Shalom, peace and increase. What's good, man? I was up feeling good. Wanted to talk. Was checking my YouTube out. First, let me send some shouts out to Mr. Straight Talk. Trevor was on this show. I was invited to sit on the panel. I believe it was Monday. I think he calls it Man's Monday. If you haven't checked out his thing, go over there. Check it out. Like when you're going in, definitely subscribe. You won't be disappointed. Straight talk is exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Man, you talk about everything from, and it's not just, what it is. It's a dash. It has a splash of Jerry Springer because everybody brings their own element, their own uniqueness in their character, at least as far as when I said on the panel. But it's really grounded and based in something. Like, it proposes real questions and it challenges us to think about our take on it and even our answer, and the diversity of panel. What adds to the whole flavor of it, because the reactions, the array of reactions you're going to get from just the sheer diversity of the panel is great. You got to check it out. But the show was about polygamy or poly lifestyle. Was it beneficial to the Black community? Bold challenge, great show. Let's talk about that a little bit on the show. Do we dare challenge that? Y'all want to step in that territory? You guys want to discuss that? I mean, because it's interesting, it's fascinating. This whole, poly lifestyle. For me, because I understand the poly lifestyle from polygyny, and I know I'm gonna get, if we discuss it, I know that I'm gonna get people on here that are gonna have the proper definitions and the correct understanding and pronunciation. I'm welcoming that. Jump on. In fact, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And all that. Deacon, let me say this. We gonna find a new. I appreciate you guys, but that ain't no longer gonna be the thing for me. We ain't throwing flames behind my name anymore. Real shit. Can I get some black fist in here? Yeah, we're not doing the flames. I appreciate you, Deacon. Nothing but love, man. All the support there again. Uh, you know, there again, loved all the support and the positive energy going out. Yeah, yeah. That's why I said that was a good topic, and that's I like that. Everyone's tied to their thing. That's why I said it was a good topic. And so to go back initially, what I was saying about that, like, uh, I only ever understood it from one way. That was a religious way. So it was interesting, and it is always interesting to hear the various takes and different understandings, and especially these understandings as we enter into the age of empowerment for, at one particular time, groups that were socially suppressed or not allowed to participate fully and were just subjugated to understandings and positions in polygyny or any poly relationship. So this whole polyamorous thing of sisters having more than one man, you know what I'm saying? And, at one point in time, that may have been a sting to a lot of men, but now where I'm finding a lot of men more accepting of that understanding. That's interesting to hear that. I love to hear a brother come on that to really give their perspective of their to help us to understand or introduce us to that way of thinking. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words to say, I'm not saying of acceptance, but to that way of thinking. I am one who believes that if anything affects us as a people, we should not shy from it. We should not shy from at least looking into anything that presents itself to us as a people, not just for the potential of liberation and empowerment, but also to develop, if need be, defenses against its detriment or its harm towards the Black community. We can no longer afford to just close our eyes and act like this real-time shit that they throwing at us doesn't exist. You know, Shalom, I say it helps who it helps. I tried it, and that's how I knew it. That's how I know. No, what is it? Let me hold on 1 second. Get too much going on. That's how I knew it wasn't for me. I think when one goes out the window, Ellie, if you're not pro poly, you hate women, then just become a tyrant. I kind of understand, but I get it. You know, the bashing of it, the trying to enforce it. That's why I said I understood it from a religious perspective. So I didn't really see how, and I'm gonna be honest, especially over here in America where women are very empowered, that it was advantageous for them. You know, I can understand when it affords a woman a certain amount of protection, and it would afford the woman, especially in particular times, certain benefits and things of that nature. But you really would have to, I think, for you to sell it on me. Now, do I believe it? Yeah, because it's kind of part of a cultural understanding that I've embraced a long time ago. Do I see the purpose and the need for it right now, the benefit for it for the Black community? I'd really have to be sold over to it. You know, you really would have, I see where it would have the potential, but I don't see where we have, as a people, mentally, or socially, culturally evolved to even look at it for some of its certain, if not healing properties, certain aspects of it that could be advantageous for us to advance economically and in other areas and avenues of our culture over here, our existence. You know, now, like I said, then that's where with me the whole controversy comes in, because I know it from a religious perspective. You know, now I don't know, now how do I feel about it from just purely a sexual standpoint? Isn't that what freedom's all about? I have the right to do what I do. This poly, the whole poly thing, I can have multiple partners. Do I set in the run the risk of being a religious tyrant? You know, that type of thing. You know, do I run the risk of being a hypocrite? So, I mean, it's heavy because it has all of those ramifications, political, social, cultural, like I said, which eventually affects the economy. And that's what I be on when I look at the introduction of a thing into our culture, because I believe us as human beings, and especially after going through this experience, us as human beings, let me drop the link in here too. Sorry about that, I got to wrap it. Are created for more than just and play. You know, we weren't put down here just to have a good time and party and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? So how effective are we being down here? And the things that we embrace, are they, if not essential, man, are they, I'd say they need to be essential, but are at the very least useful to you some in other form than just entertainment? Are these things we embracing and spending money on and spending our time on and spending a large part of our focus and concentration on, or can it serve more of a purpose in your life than just entertainment? See, that's the trick of not just spiritual captivity, a spiritual distraction, to keep your focus and energy on a product or on a particular source they want you to have it on, but to keep, your spiritual attention, but to keep you economically locked in, to keep you in a routine that keeps you in an economic state, consumerism. You gotta have it. You gotta have it somehow. You have made it a part of who you are. It is essential to your survival. It is essential to your essence, to your being. If you don't have it, you just feel out of the loop. That type insanity. So yeah, all of these things have to be. So I say, we question everything that came in. Shout out to Mr. Straight Talk for that show. He has definitely won me over on. I think it's called Man Mondays. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Go back, check that show out. Go over there, check his stuff. Hit the like button, subscribe. Hit the like button when you come my thing. Just think, just don't hit the button. Hit the damn button. It's not hurting anyone. Let's talk a little bit about the league. Let's talk about a little bit about the league. I know you want to talk about that. I finally finished watching the playoff debate between Good God Allah and MD. I don't know. I don't think it was as controversial. I was looking for this really, to me, a Good God Allah won. It was just that simple. I mean, he kept trying. I think Good God Allah summed it up to me. He killed it when he summed it up to me when he was like, because the whole thing, what was the debate? Is it beneficial? Is it beneficial? Is it beneficial? Is it beneficial? And Good God Allah summed it all up when he said black people, first of all, he showed that the system was unfair, was unjust. So black people wasn't in a position to receive any benefits from going into an ism. Aha. A lot of y'all got lost in that. I had to, listen, let me go back. I'm eating my words, man. Let me give me some milk to pour on this eat my words cereal after eat. I have to reevaluate Good God Allah. I may have to take some things really back. I thought that he started out slow, this and that, but when I got to finish it, it's a nice build. He's not super over aggressive. I think me though, they call me the Great Yeller. They call me the Great Yeller. I think I agree with that, Deacon. I agree with that. But then over political, I so agree with that. And he over politicizes it so much that it's almost not even, I don't even want to say applicable. It's just not even, it's confusing. It gets confusing. We're going to talk about that. We're going to go into that. I look forward to having many a back and forth with him. I leave for a minute, and this is what y'all let MD turn into. This is what y'all let the radical Republican, and okay, we're gonna go there though. We're gonna talk about that. MD. But I watched the debate, and Good God Allah said that, to me the debate was lost. Like when he said that, when you talk about individualism, Uh, and black community is individualism better, private businesses, but not factoring in, you want to use racism. Who cares about the white community? Who cares about this? So what you really pushing the status quo, you really pushing get rich off of black people. You really pushing black exploitation to almost a degree, if you ask me. Petty bourgeoisie. You pushing a petty form of black capitalism. You want to use the black consumer base to emulate larger white capitalism, because you can't see that's true individualism. If you're talking about private businesses compete on the level out there, you can't create an exclusive market of group economics, which is exactly what Dembele pointed out. Group economics is to take priority of that group. Point one of that definition. You had him continue to read until he read into an ism. And I think that he spotted that. He's like, oh, you're trying to come from purely a political economic standpoint and black people and exclude racism. So how do you exclude racism from black economics? You're not given the opportunity as a black person. Historically, you've been denied the opportunity, economic disadvantages that already have exist, preconditions. Mr. Black Republican, all of these things that are specific and unique to the black existence here in America, you're saying doesn't exist, but take advantage of it somehow. But we must, you say that don't exist, but I'm worried about my black community. Man, that's petty bourgeoisie. You trying to tap into a black consumer base without having black responsibility. Then you want to take the individualism comes in is you want black consumers, but you want to take black dollars and spend it amongst white people. Not fooling me. You're not fooling me. It's petty bourgeoisie. You trying to set up a black middle class. Because as good God of law pointed out, there will always be that black disparity, economic disparity. There would always be that disparity exist within black America and white America. So you recognize that. So you saying fuck the disparity, fuck competing with, see, this is where the trick comes in. Because like he said, it's group economics. What is group? A collective. What is group? Somebody look up group. I wish my man Jesse was on here. Deacon, what is group? Somebody give me the definition of group. And then economics, to be dealing with money. A group, a collective of people, economics to deal with finances. Because he's taking group economics and has made it particular to the black experience over here and wasn't speaking within the capitalist propaganda. I mean, the junior college propaganda that the capitalists push. You eating it hook, line, and sinker as if you exist in equity with white America. It's fascinating. I was listening to your debate, and you was really trying to push that individualism and that private business in without saying that, though, in order, even in my petty bourgeoisie, black America, or petty capitalist black America, it must start in collective think and collective economics, group economics. They all have to agree to enact that ism, black capitalism, amongst themselves, for themselves. That's the only way your thing works. Because Mr. Individualist, Mr. Private Business, you can't get out there and compete in America that is white America that is already predisposition against you as a black person and biased towards white America and people that white America deemed to be their allies or deemed to fit Caucasian or check off Caucasian on their registry. Come on, man. There you go, group. A number of people or things that are located close together are considered or classed together. There it is. There's no way around that. So it's like having your cake and eat it too. So you have to ask yourself, individualism is, I forget the title, is uh, individualism good for the black community, or is, what's the title? Because clearly, like I said, there to me, there's no way around. Like, even if you're pushing individualism as an ism, the individualism, literally the ism and individualism as defined by economists and economics individualists. Even if you're defining that, you still have to go into the group economic structure. You still have to go into the consumer. If you're a capitalist, you the consumer base. Like he was pointing out, where is your capital coming from? Are you getting loans from banks? Has this group set up black banks? Have they done exactly what he talked about? What you said is not group economics. That what you're saying is not group economics. That is the primitive. When he talked about 100 friends putting in $100 and then somebody pulling out, that's the primitive explanation of basically black banking. It's very layman explanation of black banking, black community, black businesses investing in an institution that distributes the money. You know what I'm saying? Based on the potential, distributes the capital based on the potential strength of the idea, whatever that they're investing in. They invest in you. That's the black bank. It was a black banking system. So that was group economics. It was the equivalent of that. Like I said, it was just a primitive explanation of it, very layman. I thought it was brilliant. Like I said, I'm gonna have to keep my eye on Good God. Yeah, nah, man, it's wordplay. He should know this ain't right here because his man said it. Black son, word salad. Son, you ain't I can't believe you ain't I know you're a Republican too, but I can't believe you ain't spanking some of that. So we'll look forward to that. But I don't know. Clearly, to me, it was good God Allah. He proved that it just individualism wasn't beneficial and without group economics. In fact, the form of individualism that MD was pushing can't even take off without group economics. Or he was saying collectivism, and he was trying to go to the isms, trying to push a socialist understanding of collective economics. Collective economics, when he said the power are the power, the power and the people are the state. Oh, we know what the people are. No, what is the people? There again, the capitalist perspective. Right now, what is the you talking about? The resource. We are the resource. So the collective economics would be when we decide what to do with us, since we're the resources, what to do with the labor of our fruits. See, we don't have to spend with any goddamn body. We don't, ain't nobody got a gun to our head and told us we have to spend 1 red cent with anyone. We are the resource. The collective economics is not the state controlling us, but the people, powering the people. We control us. So we said we don't have to spend with anybody. And when we decide to spend, we want to spend with the people who we have a direct uh, connection with the line of production. What does that mean? Even if I don't work in the factory, or get a part of that factory, or own that factory, I receive benefits from that factory being directly related to me. The community works in that factory by its proximity. There's tax cuts because it ain't shipped over here, shipped over there. I'm not paying for name brand. It's our people's factory. She's talking about it's all kind of benefits for people who have direct ties to their production and distribution without middlemen. That's where we get pimped, middleman. And what you pushing for us is more status quo, pushing a black petty bourgeoisie or a new black middle class, and for black people to accept status quo. That's all it is. You trying to get us to accept status quo. There's no way possible you don't benefit from direct contact with production and distribution. Getting rid of the middleman who's doing it for pennies on the dollar. You don't even get the job to produce the jeans or the tennis shoe that your hard-earned money is going out buying for your child. Not you, some child is being for your child. Some child in some third world country is being exploited. Like I said, for pennies on the dollar. Your people don't even get the label. So yeah, we want to produce. Not only produce, we don't, because we hold the sway and the influence. We're 85, 90% of marketing. Our image is everywhere. We sell the damn shit. So yeah, we want to produce it and we want distribution. Directly related. We want everywhere you look up and you see that product and you see, we want to see our faces, us related to it, not just on the billboards, but behind the scenes. So when these Chinese people are breakdancing in our shit, we're the ones selling to China. We're the ones selling to Russia. We're the ones selling to all the people that are emulating and imitating us. We're getting the residuals and the revenues. See, you the one to tell us to invest in Nike, to invest in these existing corporations, invest in America. Because you can't be telling them about their individual private business. Have you studied business? Walmart, the conglomerates are putting motherfuckers out of business. Individualism is private business. The conglomerates are putting people out of business. Man, you better stop. You need to update your information, man. You can't be pushing that counter the 1970s, 1960s, 1970s pro-black revolutionary era, man. That damn McCarthy shit. You can't be pushing that McCarthyism, man. The Red Scare. Quit trying to have these people scared of collective works. Working together. Spending amongst their own. Setting regulations amongst their own, not grossly, not being up saying we don't have a problem with private businesses in our community. Like you talked about the brother that started Greenwood. You talked about the brother started Greenwood, but it was a flip of the words because like how you even are using, we use Claude Anderson. Yes, the brother, but he practiced what? Group economics. Why do you think a school developed? Though, albeit he may have been forced to practice that during segregation, but that's how a town developed around the business. He didn't take his dollars and go to white folk. He built a school, or he contributed to a school being built. And like I said, therefore banks and other businesses sprout. How does that happen? Because he's hiring black people. So when you hire black people, they need somewhere to live. So now they got to hire people who build houses. And when you hire people who build houses, they need to eat. So now you need restaurants. And when you got restaurants, people need to have clothes. So now you got a tailor, you got people, and the people that build need tools. So now you got a blacksmith. This is how it's built, but it's all coming from group economics, collective works, Ujima and this motherfucker. Producing, understanding you, they understood they was the resource. They didn't have to go to the white man. They wasn't looking to fit in. They wasn't looking to be accepted amongst this white man. They took advantage of, like they said, the multicultural tolerance. What does that mean? It meant that they just let niggas do their thing, Native Americans do their thing. They didn't sweat motherfuckers. It didn't mean they was all saying kumbaya. It meant they had a tolerance for other people. And we see how far that tolerance went until they saw the superiority, the achievements and the advancement of us as a black people were left unmolested. You see how far that went? But they understood the resource was themselves, and they possessed the knowledge and the wherewithal to create what they needed to develop their township. And thus you have Black Wall Street. If you're advocating private business, then you have to advocate, it's like Dunbar pointed out, then you have to advocate the structure that your alleged petty bourgeoisie capitalism is going to be feeding. Don't tell these people they can have private businesses. You're already catering to a small consumer base, black people as it is. And you're telling these people they can have private business catering to the same small in competition, catering to the same people. All y'all can open up the same shit and do the same thing. You're not teaching economic responsibility or feasibility, practicality, and the reality of the whole thing, man. Stop telling these people, stop that. Stop that. Stop having these black people think that they on equal playing fields. Tell these people you pushing status quo. Tell these people you tell them don't rock the boat. Get in where you fit in. Stop being greedy. How dare you cry for the whole that you want it all? You're not happy for punk petty appeasement. They hear me talking about y'all wanted the government to take care of you. Let me tell you something. The government didn't take care of anyone. They were forced to do that. The revolutionaries forced the government to do that. Spoken like a post-WIC food stamp era. There was a time black people weren't even getting that. We relied on ourselves. The only reason they gave us that is because it took some of the self-determination out of us. But because shit, them Panthers grabbed them guns and the black community supported that, because if you ain't feeding us, fuck your laws. Why should we obey anything to a people that ain't taking care of? And now they got you tricked thinking they taking care of you and have you subjugating yourself to bullshit laws. Because you're scared to fight and shake them. So we teach our people to find their place in them, accept the status quo, be grateful. For what? What are you out advocating for these black people here in America, man? What are you really saying? I think on that one, nah, man. I like on that debate, I think hands down, because I just don't think, especially I think you used individualism interchangeably. You try to use it interchangeably. You can't use individualism in a group economic understanding. How's that work? It's called petty bourgeoisie, petty capitalism. That's exactly what that's called. If you pushing private business, individualism, and understanding, you have to push it in competition with mainstream America, and you wasn't doing that. You kept saying, fuck white America. I'm talking about our community. I'm talking about our people. Oh, I get it. Yeah, that made a lot of sense to me then. Hell no, that's not beneficial for us. That's more exploitation. You are absolutely right. That is Atlanta. Shit, you're absolutely right. It is Atlanta. Shit, Atlanta police have you calling for white supervisors. Can I get a supervisor? Can I get a supervisor? Shit. You're absolutely right. It's Atlanta. It's neo-colonialism. It's petty bourgeoisie capitalism, neo-colonialist Negroes. You are absolutely fucking right. But you need to call it that. And we ask ourselves, is that individual for the black, is that beneficial for the black community? Well, we just look at Atlanta. And I think a lot of people would dare say no. Inside of a very, Atlanta's an experiment, a petri dish. Inside a very white, racist, conservative state. It's crazy. Anywho, that's my take on that debate. That's my take on that debate, man. I'm just rambling, man, before the meds kick in, man. I appreciate everybody riding out. You know what I'm saying? So just looking for the whole healing process, man. This has been an experience. I'm at the stage of it now where the bandages are off. So I have to get used to having the bandages off and the exposure. And I can take showers and run water on and stuff like that, and it feels strange. It doesn't even feel like my arm on my feet, my toes, forget about it. Just forget about it. Traumatic trauma. That's another thing, man. You know what I'm saying? How do we deal with the trauma? Like, I mean, you know, me thinking about this, and this is my trauma. What's your trauma, man? Do we deal with trauma? Do we really deal with trauma? You know, and that's no small thing. I think that is so common in our community that, you know, even when we have reminders like this, I may bring it up, people may bring it up, we still just kind of dismiss it. We still just kind of dismiss it as it really not being so significant in our life. But you know, I think we would really be surprised how much of a role trauma, how much baggage trauma is that we carry around. It took me to start going to retreats and getting into a spiritual understanding. People who rock out with me know that I get into my spiritualism and I belong to the spiritual house, and we take retreats. We go into the mountain, and on these retreats, you know, not only are you doing various things, but there's exercises, and a lot of these exercises are about what they call shadow work, you know, but is about inward work, discovery of self. There's never really a lot of brothers up there with it, especially in the house I belong to, because I find that men and sisters, my sisters, they're traumatized. I had one sister tell me she knew she was a woman before she knew she was black. You hear me? Her first discrimination or experience with suppression, injustice, and unrighteousness came due to her gender and not her race. She said she first knew she was a woman before she knew she was black. That's heavy. That's heavy. You know, so the sisters do go through some things. However, when I go up there, when I have gone on retreats and the brothers up there, men go through a lot. I never really knew how much we as a brotherhood, fellas, suppress the shit that bother us. Suppress the things that really just bother us. And how the suppression and the avoidance and the just outright negligence, refusal to deal with things has really ruined a lot of our, I'm not going to say ruined our lives. I don't think it's never too late. If you drawing in breath, it ain't too late. So I ain't going to say ruin your life, but I am going to say has allowed us to create and cause our own difficulties. Have allowed us to create and cause our own difficulties. Our refusal to deal with it for whatever reason, you know, social, cultural reinforcement of this understanding of masculinity. Is that why they call it toxic? Because it's poisonous to continue to embrace something that won't allow you to heal. But for whatever reason, we won't embrace it, or won't embrace it. And when I say embrace it, I mean address it, confront it, acknowledge it. Go in that closet and put that boogeyman out there. There's nothing soft about that. You know, if you know, out there, brothers, if you feel you need help, man, go talk to someone. You know, talk to someone. And I'm talking about really semi-professional. It's cool to talk to your boys. It's cool to talk to your clique, but I'm really talking about someone that's semi-professional. Yeah, that's my advice on that, man. That's my advice on that. And it just comes from reflecting. and having had the opportunity to brief moment, because I told him I wasn't leaving the hospital till I talked to someone. I think y'all have heard me say this before. I told him I wasn't leaving until I spoke to someone. Because shit is real. Like, I close my eyes and I see flames. I need to know about, and I'm going to take it on myself to probably investigate a little further. Me being a spiritualist along spiritual lines, but also as I physically heal my psyche, I'm going to make sure that my psyche is okay. Shit, I was already off, already slightly thrilled, you know. So interesting to see what effects this journey, this portion of my life will have. And prayerfully, I rise to the challenge to turn this tragedy into a triumph. Find a way to get the blessings out of this lesson. You dig? Like I say, not woe is me, but wow is me. Just every opportunity to be fantastic. Because that's my whole thing. That is my whole key to motivation and inspiration. You know what I'm saying? That's my whole key to motivation and inspiration. How can I get the best experience? Because I really do believe like I'm this great spirit manifested. I'm God manifested in the flesh. How can I take this and turn this into a triumph? And if along the way the tests and obstacles come and should it get heavy and should, you know, the burden becomes strenuous, then it's like, universe, what should I be getting out of it? Like, I don't want the strain and the struggle of it for naught. For just absolute a lump on the head for absolutely no reason. You know, I realized that when, you know, I was deep into my Islam, used to make my 5 prayers. I'd be like, yo, I hit my head on the floor 5 times a day, so that I don't have to be out in this game knocking my head on foolishness, man. You know, it's my own little self-type little joke. So even then, I knew how precious time was. Peace, Van Cat. What's good, man? What's good? So I sent you that. I hope you saw it. Check your email. Let me know if you got it, and then we can head up. I'm just on one of my late night, man, rambles while I have people up. If anybody wants to hang out, I dropped the link. It's out in the chat. If y'all just want to hang out late night till the meds kick in. You know, sitting discussing life, thinking about some things. What'd you think about Trevor's show? Bold, man. Again, let me send shouts out, man. If you didn't hear the show, go back and check it out. I loved it. I loved it. I loved the energy. I loved the participation. Thank the brother for having me. And I love, you know, the panel that was on there. Looking forward to he and I to get this thing out of the way in the debate league on debate business. Yeah, definitely looking forward to going at it with that. Because the league's getting interesting. This thing is getting interesting. So, yeah, but you know, to go back to that, that's the whole thing, man. I don't want to struggle for naught. You know what I'm saying? Just doing something for the sake of doing something. What's his higher purpose? Getting out of, getting self out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Trying to really getting self out of the way, because self will deceive you. Self will deceive you. Self will have you thinking you're doing this, and all the while, because you're feeling good, self feeds you this. It's an overload of your sensations. It's an overload of your sensations, you know. And what it does, it makes you dependent. It makes you dependent. It makes you dependent on uh, outward stimulation to keep you going and moving. And if you can't get that outward stimulation righteously, you will get it by any means necessary. It's like if you don't have the money, if you don't earn the money to righteously to get something you want, you may be tempted to or even do some shit less than righteous to obtain what you want. It's the same thing with this ego when it needs that attention, when it needs outward stimulation of material possession and people. That's where that comes from. So you got to watch that stuff, man. That'll get in the way. That will get in the way and rob you of the purity uh, of not just intentions, but of receiving. You know what I'm saying? It'll rob you from the purity of not just why you do it, but receiving. So that even if a person flakes out or behaves in a manner, you be like, man, I did this or didn't they flake out? You still some kind of way will get this sensation, this satisfaction of mission accomplished because your mission would have been a lot more lofty than satisfying your ego or being caught up in to such a degree that if they don't respond in a manner that you wanted, it just threw you. It's like later for them. Time is too short for that, you know. So we on that type of vibe, man. That's the new type of vibe that I'm on. And that's definitely how I'm rocking out. And that's definitely how I'm rocking out. You know. So that's what's good. Let me think of what else is going on. Looking forward to like going back to like the league, man. Looking forward to these playoffs. But again, to retouch on that, I finally saw that debate. I would have given it to good God Allah. Gonna have to address MD. He's gonna make me look some things up, man. I mean, yeah, that individualism. I'm gonna challenge, and the way that you described that, I'm gonna challenge that to be petty bourgeoisie, petty capitalism. I would challenge that. I would challenge that. But I must be feeling better. Is that are those cool. Man, is that the rumblings of debate, life, attempting to settle over me? We'll see. Or is that just the meds? That just the meds kicking in? Man, so it's all good out there in YouTube world again, man. Let me thank everybody that's out there. Their good energy, good vibrations, prayers of healing. You know what I'm saying? Just all of those things. I receive. I share. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Venkat. I'm telling you, I thought it was a good show. You know, I'm looking forward to being on future shows and going back and checking out uh, some old shows. It's, you know what's crazy, or what I think is cool, to see the debaters outside of their so-called, and you should see me doing the air quotes, so-called debate life. You know, they go, yeah, I'm gonna come over. Oh, they all gonna get it. Our old Trevor debate. So Trevor gonna get it first. MD, now I'm saving MD, but they're both gonna get it. They are both going to get it. Have no fears. It's coming around. SVDL. Shouts out to its commissioners. Oh yeah, it's definitely coming around. We're gonna do the damn thing. Uh-huh. Hold on. Yep. All right, it's time for the other dose. So yeah, we get on these meds because I am in there sweating. I am feeling it. Send a shout out. There we go. Bim, peace. You see the healing coming. Keep the prayers up. All the good vibrations coming my way. WAP. Just for the viewers. And with that, brothers out, man. We say peace. Oh, hit that little like button too.